Hello traders, I've got something pretty exciting for you today. As you may be aware, I have recently transitioned over from trading on BitMEX to Binance Futures. Just got a little bit frustrated with BitMEX and I'm still trading a little bit on there, but I'm mostly moving over to Binance for many reasons. And I've had a lot of you reach out to me to ask how it works. There's a few confusing things about Binance, but once you have a bit of a run through, it is really simple. So I'm going to head on over now to Binance and show you how to trade. Okay, so when you first log on to Binance, you will see that there are a few options up here in the menu now. And if you click on spot, you'll see that there is the basic and the classic. They're the two normal exchanges that we're used to with Binance, and margin is the one that we're currently possibly getting a little bit confused between which is margin and which is the futures, and which of those is closest to BitMEX, which we're used to. If you go over to derivatives, you'll see that there's perpetual, quarterly, and leverage. Perpetual futures is the one that I personally am trading on. That allows you to trade with up to 125x leverage. And the difference is that quarterly is like the contracts that we're used to in BitMEX that have an expiry date every quarter. Perpetual doesn't have the expiry date, so that is definitely my preferred, because the expiry dates really annoyed me in BitMEX, to be honest. With margin trading, that allows you to trade with leverage as well. The difference is that with margin trading, you actually have to borrow the funds first, and you start paying interest on those funds from the time that you borrow them, and then the next step is to go and place your trade. So it's quite a long and confusing process, and I think this is the one that has left most people going, oh, Binance is just easier. The perpetual futures works very similarly to BitMEX because it's all done in one transaction. So if we click on that one, this brings up the interface. Now you can see here that we've got an option up the top of the moment that says old website. So this is the new layout. If you click on old, you get this layout here, which personally I prefer, but considering they're changing it, we'll go with the new one for now. So what you need to do is first of all log in. So I'll do that quickly. Okay, now that we're logged in, the first thing you need to do is transfer funds from your exchange wallet over to your futures. So the way Binance works is that you will initially trade any money that you want to trade with. You'll transfer any money that you want to trade with into your normal Binance Spot wallet. And then from there, you go onto this futures exchange, and you need to then transfer that over to USDT within here to trade with. So the big difference to point out is that when you're trading on Binance Futures, you're trading USDT as the pair, whereas on BitMEX, you're trading XBT, which is a contract of BTC. So you need to transfer BTC into BitMEX to trade with, but with this we need USDT. Now, a lot of people have said to me that this is a worry because they want to accumulate BTC. My answer to that is, why would you accumulate within an exchange anyway? So what I would suggest is that at the end of the week or the month or however you normally do it, once you have worked out, what your percentage gains are, and if you plan to move that over to a BTC wallet, do the exchange then in one. So accumulate your USDT whilst you're trading on Binance, and then swap that to BTC, and then swap it out to your better protected wallet. So therefore you still are accumulating BTC. You're just trading USDT as the vehicle to do that. So over here, when we need to transfer, there's a transfer button here, and this will tell you what's available in your other wallet, your spot wallet over to your perpetual wallet. The coin that we use is USDT, and you can just confirm transfer. Once you've done that, it shows up here what your balance is to trade with. So looking at this chart, starting over from the left hand side of the screen, you can see here the pair that is currently showing. If you click the little arrow, we've got perpetual and quarterly. Again, I don't trade quarterly, but this gives you the options if that was of interest to you. Perpetual shows all of the options that we have to trade with, and there's a hell of a lot more than what BitMEX offers. You can also click the star to decide which ones are your favorite pairs, and once you do that, they then become listed up here just for quick reference. Then moving down, we've got the different time frames to trade on. You've got indicators that you can add. You've got the option to have a look at this chart or TradingView chart. But yeah, most of us will chart on TradingView and just take our trades on here. So all of that will stay the same. You can also change to depth chart, which is a bit pointless because the depth chart is here. If there's something on there that you don't like, you can just cross that off. Order book is here. And over to the right of the screen is everything that you need to place the trade. Now, one thing I really want to point out, because I continuously make this mistake, and I don't know why I don't learn my lesson, but that's how it is. Up here, right now it says isolated, but when you first log in, it will actually say cross. Now, what I learnt was, even though to the side here, this is where you can set your leverage. So if you set it to 10x and press confirm, that's not actually set to 10x, it's still set to cross. So it's really important to click on that and change it to isolated. So these two here should say isolated and then the level of leverage that you want. Below that, we've got limit, which is choosing your price to enter your trade. And then we've got market, which is entering at the market's current price. And then we've got stop limit, which has a few other options, which is stop limit, stop market, and trailing stop. Next to your balance, you've got a little calculator icon where you can calculate the position that you're planning to take, whether you want to go long or short, set your leverage. You can enter your entry price, exit price, and quantity, which will calculate your P&L and ROE. You've got another target calculator there and a liquidation calculator, which is very handy. Then from here, you would set your price that you want to enter your trade at. If you were to do a limit order, you can literally just click on the number in the book and that will bring it up here, or you can just type it in. The amount is the amount that you want to trade. What I love about this is this little percentage slider. So you can just choose a percentage of your account that you want to put on this trade. You don't have to do it that way though. You can just enter the number. That is all if you're choosing limit. Then you would decide if you're buying long or selling short. You would click one of those. Down here is post only, which we always have ticked. That means that your order goes into the book after you have selected one of these buttons. Reduce only works the same way as reduce only in BitMEX. That is, you would tick that button if you were only wanting to place this particular order to close an existing trade that is already open. Right now we don't have a trade, so that won't be ticked. Okay, so out of the options to place an order, you've got limit and market. I'm going to do a market order just so that I can get something in the book straight away. For those who prefer to only do limit orders, it's exactly the same as BitMEX. You select your price, you select the amount, and select your leverage, long or short. tick post only. But for market, we're going to buy in at the current price just so that I can open a trade for you guys to have a look at. I'm going to just use this slider at 3%, and I'm going to sell short. I'm not going to have that ticked because I'm getting into the trade. So I'll click sell short. Now you can see down here, first of all, the order will go into open orders. Because this is a market order, it's already opened. So you can see here what you're trading right now. You can see the leverage. You can see the size, your entry price, your liquidation price, and also over here you can also double check that it is isolated margin. Now once the trade is open, we want to set a stop loss. So to do that, we would go over to stop market, and we choose market because we want to make sure that it actually triggers at that price. And I'm going to put, this is a short, I'm going to put my stop at 9,750. And I'm going to set it for 100% because I want to be stopped out on 100% of this position. Reduce only, obviously, and I will go the opposite way because it's a stop, so buy long. And now if I go into open orders, you can see there that the type is stop market. It's a buy, to buy what I've put on the trade. The amount is 29, which if I go to position is 29, so that shows it's 100% of my order. And the trigger price is 9,750. Now, if I want to set a take profit, I can either do a limit buy, so buying the other way, and I want to close that at 9,550, for example. Also, would just put on 100. This is what I actually really love about this, is that when you do staggered sells, so when you sell 25 of your position at a time, you can literally just go 25% and you don't even have to calculate it. And then you put in the next one, and close out your trade. So that is what I love a lot about Binance. So we're going to close 100% of this trade at 95.50. It is a post only, and it is also reduce only. So if this hits my stop before taking profit, then it cancels out this order. Exactly the same as BMX. So that's what I want to do there. And I'm going to buy long. Now, in order to make sure that that is in the book, can go to open orders again and can see that I've got a limit buy at 955.50. The amount is the same, 100% of the order. The other option is to close this is, if you're wanting to close 100% of the trade, is you can also write 955.50 in there and click on limit. Or if you just want to get out in this very moment, you can just click on market to close the position at whatever the current price is. Now, so the next thing is, how do you do buy stops and sell stops for, say, breakout trades, if that's your thing? Let's click on ETH, for example. You would not choose the limit or market button. You would instead go to stop market, and same thing. So see up here how it's changed back to cross. That's exactly what I was talking about before. If you're not careful and don't check it, gets you these little buggers. So click on cross, change it to isolated, confirm, change your leverage to, you can either use the slider or plus minus, whatever you want that leverage to be. You can use a calculator if you need to. And the trigger price, if we're going to do a sell stop, for example, needs to be below current price. So I can see that the current price is here, which is 247.70. Let's just say I want to put a sell stop at 247 even. And the amount of ETH, again, can just choose the slider. Now, if you don't want to choose the slider, you can also just type in the amount, and in order to know that, you would need to use the calculator, the position, size, and risk calculator to work that out. But I just like going by the percentage. I just find it so much easier. So yeah, that's up to you. And then we, again, make sure reduce only is not ticked because we're putting this into the book. Sell short to place the order. So now we want to see, now that is going to open a short below the current price at the price that we chose. If the price happens to get there, back over to the order book, and we can see that ETH has been placed as a sell if the last price is 247. Now we want to, at the same time, whilst this hasn't triggered yet, we want to set a stop loss. So again, we're already on stock market, so that's fine. The trigger price is going to be above, so let's just say 253, for example. And then the amount is going to be the same amount. So see down here, this is when I do write the number in instead of using the percentage slider, because at this point, I want to make sure that I get that right. So I'm going to put in 1.126, which is what I get from here, amount. And I'm going to tick reduce only and buy long. Now, even though that sell hasn't filled yet, it still allows me to put in the stop, which is really good. And if the sell doesn't trigger and we happen to move up to the buy instead, it will just cancel out because I have reduce only ticked. Now, those two orders are in the order book, but I don't have a close yet. And what happens if I want to set up all three right now because I'm going off to live my life and I can't manage this trade? So how do I set my take profit in case it hits my take profit whilst I'm out and about? Good question. So how we do that is we are going to stay on the stock market. You put your trigger price, so your take profit will be, let's just make it up for this particular trade at around 230, for example. The ETH will be the same amount, 1.126. And I'm going to make sure reduce only is ticked this time, and then buy because this is a short order. So I want to buy back to close it. Order submitted down here, and now in open orders you can see. So now I've got my entire order placed. I've got my sell to trigger if price hits where I want it to hit. I've got my stop loss in place if it goes the wrong way, and I've got my take profit in place if it goes the right way. So that's it, guys. That's all you need to do. If you want to keep track of your open positions, it's right here. Actually, one other thing that I did want to show you just before I let you go, which is a feature I absolutely love about Binance, is the fee schedule. So if you to find this particular thing, I love this, it's in such a simple table, just scroll to the bottom and see here under service it says fees, and then that will bring up this page, and you can just click on trading, margin, and futures. Futures is the one that relates to what I'm showing you today. So what I love about this is that the more BNB, which is the Binance coin that you hold, the lower your fees become with futures trading. And I just think that's pretty amazing. It's a pretty big incentive to move over here. But take that away, it also shows you here clearly that at the lowest level, your market maker fee, which is doing limit orders as we know, is 0.02%, and your taker fees, which is when you buy at market, is 0.04%. So yeah, check that out. It's really cool, and just another reason really to move over to Binance. Alright guys, I think that is everything to do with Binance. If I have left anything out or you still have more questions, feel free to comment below or reach out to me on my multiple social medias, which you all know. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe for more videos. I plan to bring you a lot more stuff in the future. So thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you soon.